So the ability to understand and find your customers' pain points is one of the most effective skills anyone can learn in business, content creation, you name it. Because when it comes to actually creating content on social media, the content you create needs to be revolved around those pain points. You want to find solutions for your potential customers and clients. Create those solutions as pieces of content so that customers and clients understand that you are the individual that can help them reach the destination they want to be at. Or if you're simply selling them a product or service, the same goes for this. If you are able to uncover somebody's pain points and know that you can provide the solution to that pain point, you're able to demonstrate to that individual you can do just that through your product or service. So, understanding and finding your pain points is a skill that you need to learn. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hi guys, my name is Ethan Bridge. I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast, and I help coaches, consultants, and service providers build and scale their businesses using social media with a focus on Instagram, but we do all of them. So, today, finding your customers' pain points. This is what I'm going to teach you how to do. I'm going to talk through 3 different methods. Some are simpler than others, and some come from different perspectives, but ultimately by the end of this, you're going to understand how to uncover the pain points of your customer so that you can create applicable content to solve those pain points or showcase your product or service in a way that establishes the fact that you can solve that problem for them, meaning that they buy. So, point number 1. It's pretty important to just simply understand the common problems that there are within your industry. And this often comes from actually going through the journey yourself. And this is why it's so important to understand the concept of document, don't create. Because if you come over a problem, if you're creating content, if you're building a business and you encounter something that you think, that's difficult, I don't know how to do that, but then you work through the process of actually solving that problem, you've now learned something. And you've learned a solution to a problem. And because you've encountered this problem, it's incredibly likely that there's a ton of other people also experiencing this problem. So you need to note down every time you're going through a problem, document your process of building a business, building an audience, selling a service, you name it. Because every time you encountered a problem, you've obviously found a solution to that problem, hopefully. So that solution becomes a content. And then there you go. You have now found a pain point that's likely to be amongst other people as well because you've encountered that same problem. It's highly likely that there are a ton of other people going through that problem at exactly the same time as you are as well. So if you are going through that problem and you find that solution and then you post that solution and somebody goes, oh my God, this was perfect, couldn't have come at a better time, you solved their solution, that's going to help you build that rapport, build that relationship. And they're also going to realize, hey, this person is on a similar journey. Why can't they coach or consult me to help me get to the point where I want to be at? Because they're that step ahead of me. They're that individual who has known the solutions to my problems already. So surely they're going to know more solutions and teach me as a result. So simply understanding the problems within your industry that come up often through actually documenting the process yourself is really, really important. So what I like to do is I just compile a list. Every time I encounter something, I write it down. And I write down the solution when I know the solution. And that list, I can then know is essentially common problems that my ideal customer is likely to face. And that list compiles and compiles and compiles. And I've got a massive list now that I probably won't share, but that is the list I go by. And I understand that these are all the pain points. And if I can provide all the solutions to these pain points, I've got an incredible offer. So simply understand the pain points within your industry, the common pain points, by documenting your process personally. Now, point number 2, this one's incredibly simple and I don't understand why people don't do it more often. Just ask. Just ask your audience. It's really that simple. I am shocked by the amount of people that don't just ask their audience what their problems are. They assume or they guess and they post something or they create an offer based on that solution, and then there's nobody that actually needs that solution because they've tried to solve a pain point that didn't actually exist. You don't want to do that. You want to do your audience research, and to do your audience research, it's best to ask your own audience, point 1, or find a forum and ask on there. But just ask. So something I like to do quite often is frequently post Q&A stickers on my Instagram stories or within my Facebook group. And I have people respond to that question, and I actually write down every single question I get asked, no matter what. I don't just respond to them on the stories and there we go, and assume that that's the pain point and get on with it. I write them all down and compile a list again. And I can tally up how many similar questions are asked, or how big these problems may be, or how simple these problems may be, and whether I can actually provide solutions to these problems as a result. And you'll find that there's certain questions that are asked more frequently than others. And when you know that, and when you've got that, and you've got that data, and you understand it, and you can actually see it, then you know that that is a pain point that you need to provide a solution to as a service, because you know now that this is a very common problem within your industry, within your audience, and clearly a lot of people want a solution to it because they keep asking this question of you. So when you do this, there you go. But this has all just simply come from asking your audience. A lot of people massively overcomplicate the process when in reality they just need to go, hey, look, what are you struggling with this week? What are you struggling with when it comes to creating content, growing your business, finding leads, booking sales calls, closing sales calls, you name it. All of these different problems that there could be, and actually allowing people to open up, because it's unlikely that people are going to open up to you willingly. But when you give them a platform, an opportunity to ask a question, they're far more likely to do so. So have those Q&A forum type questions on your stories, and you're all good to go. So point number 3, final one I'll talk about. And this one is going to come from a different perspective. It's not actually finding your pain points of your customers in order to create content and provide solutions there and then. This one's more from a sales call. When you're actually on a sales call and you're trying to understand the current position your potential client could be in, but what's really holding them back. Because a lot of the time, people are very surface level with the problems that they give you. They just say, I'm struggling to grow my business, or I don't have an offer, or I'm struggling to get leads, when in reality that isn't their problem. That's not the root cause of the problem, and you want to find out the root cause, because ultimately you need to provide the solution to the root cause, not the overarching thing that they're telling you. So you have to really dig deep, and that's obviously going to come from building rapport on that call and establishing your trust and authority so that this person can open up to you. But ultimately, it's going to come from the questions you ask. So you need to be really specific and really try and force open this individual, because at first they probably won't be. They will just go, hey, look, struggling to book calls, or I'm struggling to sell my service. When in reality, let's just run for a quick example. So they start by telling you, hey, I can't sell my service. That's the problem they present. So you then ask an open-ended question. You get them to come back to you. So you say to them, okay, so how many sales calls are you booking? And they come back to you and go, oh, I'm actually booking a decent amount of sales calls. I'm booking 10 sales calls a week, let's say. So the marketing isn't a problem. They are booking a decent amount of sales calls. So you can then wipe out the fact that, hey, marketing's not a problem. They're getting good leads. But the quality of those leads may be lacking. The quantity, fine, good marketing. But it could now be down to various different factors. It could be quality of their leads. It could be within the offer itself. So they're getting good, let's assume they're getting quality leads on the call, and they're getting frequent amounts of them. But now it only really comes down to 2 different things. Their offer isn't good enough. They're struggling to display the value that their offer possesses. So everyone they get on a sales call is going, this offer's not good enough. I don't actually want it. Or they're actually struggling with their sales process. Their sales techniques, their closing techniques on the call are rubbish, meaning that they never actually sell the offer that they've produced. So now you've narrowed it down to 2 key points, and then you can tackle those 2 key points individually, and then they're far more likely to open up and they go, okay, this is my offer. They can describe their offer to you, and then you can decide whether their offer is good or not. And then you know it's their sales practices that are actually helping them or not helping them actually close on sales calls. And now you've worked out the actual pain point. That's the pain point, and you've done that through asking questions and getting them to open up. So it's not just a case of asking, what's your pain point, and then go, I'm struggling to sell my product. That's not the pain point. You need to dig below, find the root cause. That's their pain point. And then when you understand that, you can tell them whether you have the solution to solve that problem, and away you go. So those are my 3 points for finding your customers' pain points. And hopefully when you do this, your content strategy will improve dramatically, because you're creating content that your audience actually wants to see, because you're providing them with the solutions, and you're actually selling more of your offer because you're able to establish those pain points and provide the relevant solutions for your potential customers through the offer that you're actually selling. So now go and implement.